Hi, welcome to this episode of Thai Food. My special guest today is my mother Claudette, and we're going to be making my rendition of a chicken gnocchi soup that they serve at Olive Garden. And we're going to start by getting our pan on a max sear and get that heating up. While that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of butter. And this is a salted regular butter. And I've got some of my roasted garlic olive oil that was left over when I did my roasted garlic last time. I got 1 tablespoon that I'm going to pour into here. There we are. So we got 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of butter. And that's what we're going to saute everything into here. So we're just going to get that heating up. As soon as I get my mother gets my butter, as soon as my mother gets the butter melted in, we're going to, what we have in this bowl is, I used 1 small onion that I diced up. I've got 2 carrot sticks that I peeled and diced as well. Not really too small. I basically wanted you to be able to get everything in this bowl on a spoonful with some chicken. So, and I also got 2 celery stalks in there that I kind of chopped up. And we're going to get all that right in there and get it sauteing. And this is going to help pre-cook everything so that you don't have to sit there and boil it as long to get everything to cook. And I've also got some vegetarian base, which I actually got this from my mother. She was nice enough to give this to me, and I'm actually almost out. And then I've got some chicken base also. And the instructions on these say 1 tablespoon is good for 1 quart of water. I've got 2 quarts of filtered water here. And then we're going to need 2 cups of half and half to make this soup. For the chicken, you can do whatever you want for chicken. It's totally up to you. But what I'm doing is I've got some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I measured out 1 pound 8 ounces after I cooked it. So this is post-cook weight, 1 pound 8 ounces. So probably around a 2 pound package is what you're going to start with. And I seasoned them up and I grilled them. You can season it however you choose, and you know, if you want to grill it, you can. If you want to dice it up, throw it in a saute pan with some butter, some olive oil, and just saute it plain, you can do that. It's your choice. Feel free to put your own spin on this recipe. You don't have to do what I did, but I think it tastes better, and that's my opinion. Doesn't taste better to everybody. Not everyone likes everything grilled or smoked or whatever. But looks like that's getting there. We want to basically get this to a point where the onions are translucent and everything is softened. And that's about what we're going for. I'm going to see how much flavoring I've got in here. I'm going to go ahead and get it into a small bowl, have it ready to go. And my goal is to have a couple tablespoons of each in here, because I got 2 quarts of water. So I've got a half tablespoon here so I can easily judge if I've got enough. So there's 1/2 tablespoon of my chicken base, roughly. I got just enough in here to finish the 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm going to be a little shy on chicken base, which I kind of figured I would. So I already have some chicken bouillon standing by for a substitution. So I was kind of planning ahead when I looked at that. I said, I don't think that's enough for a tablespoon. I guess I was right. That doesn't happen often, especially if you're married. But, so there we go. There's 1/2 tablespoon of that. Rinse that out later, and I might be able to compensate enough with this. Let's see here. Now, you really don't want to go crazy with this. You may want to put a little bit more in, but if you put too much in, it will get salty. So if you overdo it, you'll know right away by how salty the soup is. So we're going to put some in, and before I add any bouillon or anything, we'll find out. But looks like I just barely have enough for about 1 full tablespoon of this. So I'm definitely going to have to add chicken bouillon into this as well. Or I could open up my other chicken base and do that. Totally my choice, but I'm probably going to go with the bouillon just because I got it here already. I don't have to go rummage through the pantry to find the other one. I always keep stuff on hand, but I don't have any extra vegetarian base. I'm all out now. So in this dish I have 1 tablespoon of vegetarian base and half a tablespoon of the chicken base. And it looks like our vegetables are right about where we want them, so we're going to add in 2 cloves of garlic that I put a dice on. And yes, this is green garlic. I mentioned in a previous video I made an attempt to pickle my own garlic. So the green is kind of the dill color that leached into it. So it's not going to hurt anything. I bit into one and all I could taste was garlic. So cooking with it, that's all you're going to have is garlic flavor. So that's why I'm utilizing it. And another item we're going to put in is grated Parmesan towards the end. I'll let you know when we're putting that in. I don't want to put it in too soon, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse my hands off here and my utensils. I just thought of another item I forgot to grab out of the fridge. Let me grab some spinach leaves, because we're going to need those. And it looks like I'll be using the rest of this package. This is a, I believe it's a 2-pound package that we got at Sam's Club. And it's only $5 there. Let's see here. 40 ounces. So, that's a good sized package. And that's going to go into the soup as well. And it'll wilt down and it'll mix in nicely. How's it going?
Looks good. Smells awesome.
Yeah.
Smells driving me nuts.
Just want to cook it a little bit longer, make sure everything's good and softened. Carrots are going to be the one that takes the longest to cook for sure. And of course, not all my cuts are identical. But so at this point, we're going to pretty much deglaze the pan with some water. Now, you could use a couple tablespoons of wine in this recipe as well if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go straight in with the water. And we'll get that mixing around, and we had some nice base at the bottom from the cooking vegetables. It was a nice golden brown down there, and that'll come up at this point.
You're taller than me, you could see it.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add in the vegetarian and chicken base at this point. Easier for you to hold it. It's a bit of a paste, so usually I don't put it in a dish like this. I usually just go straight in with the tablespoon scooper, but rinse this out a little bit here. I don't think that's enough to worry about actually. We'll just put that in the sink. And we don't really put the cream in until towards the end. So I was about half a tablespoon light for 1 quart of water. So 1 quart of water is 4 tablespoons or 4 cups. And basically this will make up for 1/2 tablespoon of mix, because this is good for 16 ounces or 2 cups of water. So we're going to go ahead and go in with that. And I did mention it's a chicken gnocchi soup. So for the gnocchi, we got a sweet potato gnocchi that was donated by my mother. She showed up on her way to New York here and asked me if I had an idea we could use a gnocchi for. And of course, first thought in my head was my grilled chicken gnocchi soup that I kind of mimic Olive Garden with. And my sister Ro has had this recipe once before. We were on the road working, traveling, and she was staying with me, and she showed up at the camper for dinner because she was staying there obviously, and I had made this soup, and so she can attest to how good it is if you know her. But so we got this going pretty good, and at this point we're gonna add in our chicken. So we want all the flavors in this to meld together. We want to make sure we got a good hearty soup. I don't skimp when it comes to soup. I make sure there's plenty of filling in there. And my first concern is do I want to try to thicken this? Because it's been a while since I've made this. And I think once we add the cream in, we'll be good. You know, between the cream and the gnocchi, we'll have a good ratio for, you know, product to broth. So at this point, we're going to probably pause the video here because it's going to take a while to bring this up to a boil. We got to let it simmer a while at this point. So we'll get back to you as soon as we're done simmering. Alright, we're back from letting this simmer, and basically what I did was, as it was simmering, I just checked one of the larger pieces of carrots, and I checked it for doneness, because obviously if you like crunchy carrots, then you can have it less done. I was going for more of a full cook. What I want to do at this point is I want to check my broth, see how the seasoning is. So I'm going to get a little spoonful here. And I'm going to add another bouillon cube to this. I want a little more of the broth flavor because we might lose some of it when we add the cream in here. So put that bouillon, get that going. Another thing I did while we were paused is I started weighing the spinach to see exactly how much I had. And we're going to go with 8 ounces of spinach because this looks like a real good amount to have in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add the spinach in at this point so that we can get this wilted in to the soup. And I kind of just used the same bowl I had the chicken in because it's going right into the soup anyways, and the chicken was already cooked. So it might have dragged some of the flavor in there with it. So we had to make a last minute change on our gnocchi. It turns out that I can't use the sweet potato spinach or the sweet potato gnocchi in here because it has tomato powder in it, and my mother is allergic to tomatoes. So I happen to have some gnocchi on hand in the pantry that I've been saving for just this occasion. So we're going to go with, I've got 2 pounds of gnocchi here, and we're going to add one in first and see how that looks. This one is a pecorino cheese gnocchi, so it won't take a whole lot of time for this to cook. And I want to add one in, and we'll see. Looks like we're going to go with both, in my opinion, to make sure we got plenty of gnocchi in there. No sense in skimping, right? I like a good hearty soup. So this one here is a garlic gnocchi, and the garlic gnocchi I actually found at the Christmas tree shop. I honestly don't know if there's any near me, so I've had this a while, but I know there's some up in New York, and they're all over the place. I'm sure I could do a quick search and find one locally. And the other one I think I got at the same spot. I'm not exactly sure. It says World Market on there, but that could mean a lot of things. I buy stuff all over, especially when I'm traveling. And for the finisher, we're going to add in our cream. So that was 16 ounces of half and half that we're adding in. And as you can see, this is really filling that pot up. But, you know, go big or go home, in my opinion. It's not the biggest pot I own, though. And I got 3/4 of a cup. And this is well, don't be fooled by the container. This isn't Kraft. We bought Kraft at one point, and this is more of a fresh grated Parmesan Romano blend. And I've mentioned in other videos that I buy this in bulk and mix it myself. I buy the Parmesan, I buy the Romano, and then I mix it together. So we got a bit of a heaping cup, and it's 3/4 of a cup heaping of the cheese. And we're going to sprinkle this over the top here and mix it in. That's going to add some flavor. Get the little crumbs I spilt. I cleaned the counter just before the video, so I'm good to go there. That's why I clean it. Because if I spill, you know, like that, I can always just toss it in there and I'm not worried about it. And that's pretty much all there is to this soup. And it may have more spinach in it and a lot more toppings than the stuff you get at Olive Garden, but in my opinion, that just makes it better. Especially when you grill your chicken ahead of time, then you're good to go. And at this point, you just go from here to the table and serve. And you can add more cheese if you want, and even serve it with garlic toast if you wanted, or make your own rendition of the breadsticks they serve. But thanks for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you click the bell icon, it'll notify you when I upload a new video. Check out my Facebook page. Thai Food is the name of the Facebook group. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.